All right, so please go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 162084. That's 162084. And Crypto Showdown. Time for the audience to make their voices heard. Tell us what you think. Which cryptocurrency do you think has more upside short term, right? Right now, in the next, I would say, month or two, what cryptocurrency has more upside? Is it Polkadot? Is it Ethereum? And then also be sure to tell us in the comments why you think that is, right? So for me, so kind of as mentioned, very bullish on both. Polkadot just launched. It's now trading on all the major exchanges, Kraken, Binance, all that. Very bullish on it. Very bullish on Ethereum as well. But if I had to pick one cryptocurrency to put my money in, I already have Ether, but Ether to me is like a stablecoin. Ether is like, if anything, Ether is my global reserve currency. Okay, when I get into crypto, I don't buy Bitcoin at all. I mean, honestly, I don't even know last time I bought Bitcoin because when I want to send money and move money, Bitcoin is so slow, right? So I use Ether, right? I go to Gemini, Coinbase, put my fiat, buy Ether, send it to some DEX wallet, whatever, right? And trade, right? I don't use Bitcoin because Bitcoin you have to wait like half an hour, sometimes even longer, and Ether does the same thing and it's pretty stable, right? So in my opinion, Ether is kind of almost something that everybody should have. Ether is a blue chip. But in the short term, though, I think Polkadot has more upside just purely based on the narrative. It's new, it's shiny, it's sexy. People want this new narrative. And we've seen how high narratives can go. Narratives can throw fundamentals out the window. We saw this with Chainlink. I mean, Chainlink went from like $2, $10, $17. I mean, it just kept on going. I mean, to a point where even Dave Portnoy bought Chainlink, right? So, and not only that, I think the major move was once Chainlink was doing well, almost all the other oracles began to do well. Band Protocol, Teller, DIA, DOS Network. I mean, all these brand new oracles were just, I mean, the Chainlink narrative was just sprinkling onto them, right? So I think the same thing can happen with Polkadot, right? I think Polkadot is new. People think this can compete with Ethereum, Ether. So just based purely on FOMO, purely on speculation, I think this has the legs to go in the short term. I'm not saying the technicals are there. I'm not saying the TA is there or the price prediction is there, but I'm saying just purely based on the narrative alone, and people hearing about this project, seeing how good it is for the first time. I mean, imagine if Polkadot gets added on Coinbase, right? Polkadot is going to do well just based purely on that, right? Just based on new buyers being able to buy this cryptocurrency, which was non-transferable for over a year on most exchanges. Most exchanges had IOUs. So now people hear about, oh my God, this, I mean, think about in 2017. Imagine what happened with the Interoperability Alliance. We had Icon, we had Aeon, we had OneChain. All three projects that were meant to do what Polkadot does, they were meant to connect other blockchains, and both Icon and Aeon did 100x, based purely on that narrative. I mean, as somebody who was an investor in Icon, I mean, that was insane. I ended up getting some Aeon on exchanges. I also invested in OneChain, but OneChain could have pulled a 100x, but they messed that up. I mean, they laid an egg. They took forever to issue their token. They waited like 7 or 8 months to launch their token, right? To a point it became a meme. It became OneChain. But imagine if OneChain actually launched the same time as Icon. All three could have done a 100x. And quite frankly, the technology is nowhere close to Polkadot. Polkadot has a lot better technology, but just based on launching at the right time in a bull market with a great narrative of kumbaya with all the other blockchains, took all those three blockchains to the moon and beyond. And as mentioned, Polkadot has much better technology. So I think that narrative has legs. But not only that, I think when that happens, you'll see the same thing to all these other interoperability blockchains. They'll now start to have some hype, right? So as Bill mentioned earlier in the show, Cosmos is now doing well. Cosmos is up a lot. And I think because now people are saying, okay, if Polkadot does well, maybe Cosmos will also do well, right? And I'm not sure about the others. I haven't looked at OneChain, Aeon. and such. But I would think after DeFi oracles being the winning narrative in the last month or so, I think interoperability blockchains could be the narrative that really takes off. And as a result, in my opinion, I think Polkadot really has more upside in the short term versus Ether. Bill, your take?
Okay, two things. One, I think Polkadot is like Red Bull or Monster drink for the DeFi space, right? It's just going to pick up everybody's heart rate, make your workout better. Two, I think in terms of Polkadot and how much it could grow, I mean, again, folks, DeFi's gone from 1 to 9 billion and everybody's like, ooh, it's a bubble. People, 9 billion is not a lot of money. Okay, the Fed did 85 billion a month for years in terms of printing. So the amount of acceleration that's capable of happening, especially if you have a legit platform, right? That's the other thing about Polkadot and its team, right? It's sexy, but it also seems legit, and that's key, right? So when you put a little caffeine in DeFi, watch out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very good point, right? Because we've seen DeFi take off on Ethereum, and now Polkadot is launching with DeFi, right? Because we've covered before about projects like PolkaSwap, which basically brings a DEX that's interoperable on Polkadot. Then you have basically imagine taking everything on DeFi and Ethereum and moving it over to Polkadot. I mean, so if you add DeFi and interoperability, that's a narrative we've not seen before in crypto. And I mean, talking about adding caffeine to your coffee, I mean, that's like adding tequila to your coffee. I mean, DeFi and interoperability narrative in one, I think definitely keep an eye on that. Obviously, right now we're talking short-term speculation. Definitely do your own research in the long term. But I mean, with us, our team, we think technology is pretty solid. Now it's just really a matter of what entry is good. Okay. Now with that being said, let's see what the audience has said. Wow. Okay. Crypto Showdown. For the first time ever, I believe. Yeah. Ethereum has been defeated. Incredible. So the audience sides with us. The audience believes that Polkadot in the short term, in the next month or so, is the better trade versus Ethereum. So tell us what you think down in the comments below. Do you think the audience is right? Do you think Polkadot has a better narrative? Do you think Ethereum has a better narrative? Let me check in here. Bobby Ross says DOT is on Kraken. DOT is on Kraken. I think it's on Binance as well. I have to double check. Andrew says, how does Polkadot compare to Hedera Hashgraph? Quite different. I mean, Polkadot is really, Hedera Hashgraph is really building more something for enterprise blockchain. I would look at Hedera Hashgraph because they have great partnerships with Google, IBM, Deutsche Telekom, Boeing, I believe as well, right? But they're really going for enterprise, right? Polkadot is really trying to be like the Ethereum for all blockchains, right? To connect all the other blockchains out there. All right, so with that being said, tell us what you think down in the comments below. And that's the winner. Polkadot defeats Ethereum in Crypto Showdown.